Welcome to the ninth episode of The Two Point Turn, a podcast talking about food, entertainment, and sports. In today's episode, this is a part two of our previous episode where we talked about our top seven sports to watch. Sorry, and today we're going to be talking about our top seven sports to play, and it's going to be the same seven, just in a different order. Are you ready?
Oh yeah. I'll probably get things kicked off with, uh, quite literally kicked off with soccer, and the reason for that is, living in India, a lot of people care about soccer and they follow it, at least among my peers, and they're quite good at soccer, whereas I'm, to put it bluntly, quite terrible at soccer, and I just hate to lose and be worse than people and things like that. And every time we have to like play in like PE or when my other friends are playing and things like that, it just isn't a very pleasant experience for me. And yeah, I'm gonna put that as number seven.
Okay, so starting off with some common ground, I'm gonna have to put it my number seven as well. I prefer using my hands to my feet, and yeah, it's harder to control, much harder to learn. Not my favorite, not my favorite, but no harm to the sport, of course. We respect everyone, respect all
Yeah, number
sports.
six, I'm gonna put golf. Now again, I don't like golf much either. I probably can't do much, except like golf isn't as competitive or something for me, and it's not like everyone else around me is like a pretty good golfer. So I put that as number six. But like if soccer wasn't here, it would be number seven.
Okay, okay. So, starting off with a little bit more common ground, I'm gonna have to put golf at number six as well. And here's the thing why. All of these sports are all going to be very close. It's not like I'm exceptional at one of them over the other. I like playing all of these that we're talking about. They're all some of my favorite sports. But yeah, the thing with golf is the experience is fun, going in a golf cart and everything and switching them out, but it's a very long process. It takes a lot of time to get ready. It's expensive.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
yeah,
expensive and all that. I don't really like. I don't like that. Doesn't affect me. But like, I kind
how
of feel like
much you
this
get
is what my dad always tell me, and things like that. It's like he's like, it's an old man sport, like or old person sport. He's like, right
when you have
now you
time and
can
money.
time and money, and then also like you can be jumping around playing basketball and things like that. Like you still like he's like you're still active. You have the energy. You don't have as many injuries, things like that. You might as well like take advantage of that and do like more physically exertion, like more physically demanding sports. And then golf you can do like when you're older.
Yeah, I understand that, of course. All right, your next one is
Yeah, I'm gonna put tennis. Now, I used to be like quite good at tennis, but I haven't played in. And when I say quite good, I'm not like Serena Williams or anything. Or Djokovic. I'm good compared to my friends, but uh like I haven't played in like quite some time, and I don't find it like all that interesting anymore.
yeah. Okay. Okay. So yeah, tennis is not bad. It's gonna be in my list. Now, my next two are
Obviously.
yeah, obviously. Okay. So my next two are very, very close. It's basically you can switch either of them. It's gonna be but for my number five, I'm gonna put basketball. And here's the thing, I have a friend group that is very competitive when it comes to basketball. I mean, when it comes to all sports, but particularly basketball.
Doesn't seem
And
like it.
what?
Doesn't
That's
seem like it.
that is not very nice. That's not very nice. Okay, so yeah, they get very competitive about it, and it's not a bad sport. I just feel like it needs to be taken down a notch. I mean, there's a lot of fun things about it. I mean, I've gotten a lot better than I used to be, but it can just be a little bit too competitive.
Okay. I mean, yeah, that's kind of like my soccer rationale actually, where like it's not they're being competitive or like they'll say I'm trash or anything like that, but like I know it's like they're able to like do like crossbar challenges and things like that, and I can barely like kick the ball, so like yeah, it's kind of like a personal feeling, but I get what you mean.
Okay.
Yeah, what's your number four? You
Oh,
had
yeah, yeah, very close.
football.
Tennis.
Tennis.
No. It's tennis because okay, I took coaching for quite a while. I practiced it for quite a while, but it's not my favorite racket sport. I like badminton a lot more than tennis. It's a big court. It's you have there's it, it's the definition of I'll do it, but it's not my favorite.
Yeah,
You know
so
what I
I
mean?
feel yeah, tennis is kind of like a sport that like you require like a lot of skill and that type of thing and like routine practice. Like I would like play like a few times a day, not a few times a week,
Yeah.
and I was
Day?
at like
What?
and I was like in a good groove and things like that. And then you'd go to India or you'd go to like vacation or something, and you wouldn't play for a few weeks at a time or things like that. And when you come back, you're just completely like out of it. And again, you said something like badminton, which I don't think we're gonna rank, but something like
Yeah.
badminton is like you don't have to be as good. Like with you, whenever I play, I don't play badminton whenever, and like I'm still like decent at that, and I feel it requires a bit less like less technical and more like you can use your physical attributes and things like that. So I'll be able to do things like, and you can probably tell with something like badminton, I can get like significantly better towards the end of like the time I'm playing from what compared to where I was in the beginning,
Yeah.
and that won't be the case with something like tennis. So I really get what you mean.
Okay. Okay. What's your number three?
Yeah. So my number three is that's my number four, actually. You said
Oh,
your number four as well.
oh, right.
So my number four is going to be cricket. Now, I feel cricket is, you have to put this into context as well. So soccer was like, again, I'm living in India. Cricket's something like not as many people focus on as you would expect, but like, again, like higher affluence, things like that. So cricket, people are good. They all know how to play things like that. They're not amazing or like ultra competitive as you would expect in like maybe like a slightly like less fortunate neighborhood or things like that, but like I kind of have like this reverse expectation thing where like no one expects that I know how to play and like do well and things like that. So then I can, hit a few shots and do things like that and it'll be all right.
Okay. Okay. So cricket's
What's your
obviously
number
going to be
three?
higher on my list because that's how lists work. But my number three, it's going to be football. So it when I'm in a small group playing this, I think it's a lot more fun. And but when it's in a large group, I think like more than 10 people on a team, that's too much for me. I don't want to play it
What do you mean
anymore
more than 10 people on one team or 10 people total?
on one team.
Football is 11 people. I doubt you play with like 10
Yeah,
people.
I
Exactly.
don't.
Yeah. At max, you're gonna get like 3 or 4 people on a team, I think.
Yeah,
Realistically.
that's like fine for me. Maybe
Yeah.
like five or something.
Yeah, I mean like two-hand touch and all that's
Two-hand
fine.
touch is good. Yeah.
Like recently we're like trying to switch up and play tackle. That's super fun because I'm pretty hard to bring down, but then it kind of gets bizarre because like they go after your feet and then you could get hurt like that.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
um yeah, anyways, I'm gonna
Your
say
number
my
three.
number three. Now it's gonna be baseball. And I know I pretty much dogged on baseball when it came to watching it, but it's quite fun to play it, especially in the context uh that I, again, living in India, like no one really knows about baseball. We had this white history teacher, and he'd want to like play baseball and things like that in our like breaks, and like sometimes he'd give us like classes off so we could play, and he'd bring a bat and all that. And obviously, I was dominating and things like that,
Mhm.
and because again, I knew how to play unlike everyone else,
Good.
and um, yeah, it was just like in like context with other people. It was really fun to play, and I was allowed to do everything. I was like pitching. I got to like hit multiple times, and like there was this one time when I was with my friends. Like these were like I think 10th graders at the time. I was in ninth grade, and like they were just like trash talking me on the side, and then I like hit a home run type thing. I got out because you weren't supposed to hit it too hard, but I hit it
Ah,
like crazy hard, and even my teacher was like, "Go get that ball, don't do it again." But that was an amazing shot, and I remember like running outside. They ran with me to get the ball, and they were all like, "Oh, don't mess with Texas" and things like that because they would make fun of
what?
all those things. Yeah, okay, so like
Okay,
I
you don't
can't
need to
like
explain. You don't need
yeah,
to
yeah, never
explain.
mind.
You don't have time for
Moving too
that.
far.
All right. Yeah.
This is an
Okay.
anecdote anyway. All right, yeah.
Mhm.
Number two for you.
Okay, so I'm gonna combine my number two and number one. So my number two and number one, they're both very
Cricket,
I'm not gonna
baseball.
say they're similar, but they're similar
They're both
formats.
like bat sports.
Yeah. My number two is going to be baseball. My number one is going to be cricket. Now they both require a
Interesting.
bat. They both require pitching or
Running,
bowling. Yeah, and some running. And they're very
fielding.
and
Yeah, they're
yeah,
very similar sports.
very similar, very similar. But baseball is going to be. I don't get to play it as much as I would like to. I play cricket a lot more, and it's a lot easier to play, I think. So it's going to just be a little bit ahead of baseball.
Okay, so I guess that's your number one and two. My number two is going to be football, and I kind of already discussed football.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, reasonably fun sport. None of us are like crazy good, so we'll switch it up. We'll all throw, catch, do all these things. And my number one's going to be basketball. Now, again, basketball is the thing I say I'm the best at. Like, when I say best, again, I'm not LeBron James, but like I'm
You're pretty good
pretty
at it.
good slash great compared to my friends. Again, I don't think I'm the best person I know, but I'm also like I'm kind of up there,
Yeah.
like on a good day. And uh, yeah, like basketball is the most fun for me to play. It's the most played sport in America. It's really the only one you can practice on your own. And I've spent like maybe hundreds of hours, maybe even thousands at this point, practicing on
Thousands.
my own. And yeah, just most fun
Yeah.
sport to play. You can play on your own with like two or three other people, with 10 other people. It's best.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Perhaps it could have been higher on my list, but
I mean, like you probably just don't enjoy it as much, or
yeah,
you
I
don't put
don't.
in. You probably don't put in as much time, and therefore not as good. So like you don't understand, like you don't find it as fun.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So
Okay, then.
that is going to wrap up this episode of the 2 Point Turn. If you haven't watched our previous episode where we talk about our favorite sports to watch, please do that. You can find our podcast on all major podcasting platforms. That includes YouTube, Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Radio Cast, Pocket Cast, wherever you want to go. Please go watch them and keep smiling.